Hi everybody. This is JC Cast, aka the Book Painter. Um, I decided to make a YouTube channel. Woohoo! Um, I actually had a lot of people ask me how I did some of my edits and some of the things I post, and I would send all these people the small videos that I made of myself because I did post them on the IGTV thing. But then I if all these people are asking me to send them it, I might as well just do it on a more public platform. And the IGTV thing wasn't really working for me for some reason. I don't know. I don't like the format of it. It's very strange, and it's really hard to add music in the background. And if you don't add music in the background of someone just doing like art or drawing or doing an edit or whatever, it feels awkward. So I guess I started a YouTube now, so we're gonna see how that goes. So today I just want to talk a little bit about this new edit, how everyone's day is going, how my day went today, it's kind of and just stuff like that. And I started doing this, thought I had pressed screen record, and then it turns out I didn't press screen record. So that's why there's a bunch of stuff just sitting here that has no explanation of how it got there. It's because I already started thinking I was recording, and then turns out that's not true. So a little bit about Senlin Ascends by Josiah, I want to say Bancroft, I'm pretty sure that's how you pronounce his last name. So it's basically a book about how there's this tower. It's like a vacation destination for people to go to, and the main character is visiting with his wife. I read it a very long time ago, so I'm probably mucking up details and names, but this is just from what I remember. He goes with his wife to this tower, and it's supposed to be like the tallest tower in existence, and this main character brings his wife and loses his wife, and then has to search for her by going through the tower, and each room is like mythical and magical, and some rooms are horrific, and it was a really good book. I don't remember much about it, but I do remember that I really enjoyed the different rooms that Josiah Bancroft wrote out. I thought they were really inventive, and I thought it was really cool that it's all one tower, it's one giant building, but yet there's so many layers and so much stuff going on. So when I read the book that inspired me to do this, which was basically what I envisioned the tower, reading it, the front cover is different, but when I envisioned the tower, I envisioned like this very old stone tower with the inside being more technologically advanced. And so I just, picked up some towers, some clouds and stuff, because they talk about how the tower goes through the clouds and it goes as high as to reach space. So I wanted to make sure I had clouds at the bottom and then stars and space at the top. Whenever I search for something and whenever I go and look up images to put, I always make sure that one, they're not copyrighted, and two, they're transparent backgrounds, which, if I see something that I really like and it doesn't have a transparent background, then I'll take my time, crop it, edit it, put some filters, blah 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 blah. But I'm lazy, so I try my best to make sure that I get images that already are transparent PNGs, so I can just smack them there and get them ready. I also make sure I lock literally everything, because when you're messing around with images and you don't lock them down, they fly around on accident, and you're like, dang it, that was in the perfect position. And there is a back button on this app that I use for most of stuff, if not Photoshop, but locking things really helps. And then I also here was just filtering everything to make sure it all seemed more cohesive, because the difference between the castle one with the rocks and the trail was a little lighter, a little more not as like gray, not as cool toned as I liked. It was very warm tone. And then here I just changed the opacity of the sky and the stars just so it would look like the tower was reaching up, and it not just like it was just like bam stuck on the front. I want it to look very realistic. So right here I'm searching for waves to add at the bottom. I just thought it would be a cool touch, and I always do transparent just because, like I said, I'm lazy and I don't want to have to go in and have to crop things out because that takes a long time. And this video is around 20 minutes long, if not a little bit more because of the intro, but I usually take anywhere from like 30 to 45 minutes, sometimes an hour if it's a very detailed piece, like my piece on The Hate You Give, which is, I don't have a video on, but it's on Instagram if you want to see it, and also the video should be on IGTV as well. That took a long time because I used real protesters, real Black Lives Matter protesters, and cropped them all out for that one. So that did take quite a long time, but this one didn't take very long. Here I'm using different layers and different overlays just to make sure. I want to get the waves right. It's hard to explain, but I wanted to make this seem like the sky was the sea and the sea was the sky, and this giant tower was just kind of so tall that you didn't know where the sky began and where it ended, if that makes any sense. Probably doesn't. So then same with here, I took the wave and I just changed it. I didn't want it to be too big, so I made sure I put it down in the corner. And then you see the harsh edge. That happens a lot with transparent images that you get off the internet, is that they're like pre-cropped. So after I decided on the blending that I liked, changed the opacity, I went in and just cut out the harsh edge so it would blend seamlessly with the rest of the water. So while I'm messing around up here, I'm going to talk about my day. So I am in college, I'm a junior, and studying criminal justice. And I don't talk about it on most platforms, not even like my personal social media platform, but I have lupus. And lupus is an autoimmune disease. There's a lot of factors, and I'm not going to get into it, but one of the main factors is that it hurts my skin quite a bit. Like the feeling of the sun against my skin is kind of painful, so I can't really handle being out in the sun or being in a really, really hot environment for too long. And today it was supposed to rain, but it didn't. It was really hot and sunny, and I was walking around in jeans and a sweatshirt. So I was walking with some friends, and I was like, yeah, I can't go to class, I gotta go home. And I went home, and I was really sick for like 3 hours. It was terrible. I hate the sun. But other than that, school's going okay. French sucks, and business technical writing sucks, but it is what it is, trying to get that degree. Okay, so right here, basically, when you see the book come to the center of a piece that I'm making, that's when you know shit's getting real, is because I always try to make sure that when I'm doing one of these book edits, I put the book in the very center, just so it's the main. I want that to catch your eye, but I also want you to pay attention to all the other stuff going in the background. So here I'm just doing different layers of the stars and blah 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 blah. I want to make sure that it's not too hard to combine layers. Like this in general isn't difficult, doing graphic art pieces and book edits and blah blah blah. It's not as hard as I've seen some people make it out to be. It's rather quite easy as long as you have the right tools and you have some sort of artistic bone in your body. It's not that difficult. But here I'm just trying to do, like, I'm messing around with different layers, different positions I want to make things, because I have a problem. I have a tendency to make things too crazy sometimes. I'm like, ooh, I want stars, sparkles, more stars. I want Saturn here. Ooh, I want more things here. I want a monster. I want blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, in the back of my head, I'm like, well, okay, you need to calm down. Whatever, when you guys get the final thing, the final post, 90% of the time, that's like very toned down to what I was doing. I'll usually do 800 more things and shove everyone in one small space. Because with Instagram, I always, this little square you're seeing, I do those before I start making the pieces. I edit the size and the size restrictions beforehand, specifically so I can, so I won't have to take anything down, because I used to not do that. I used to just add everything on one, and then when I was done, I would be like, okay, let me size this for Instagram, and the whole layout would be weird. So I just started doing in the Instagram size beforehand. But what you guys see is like very toned down compared to what I usually do and what usually pops out. Okay, so here I fought with the little galaxy spiral for a long time, and then because layering all these different tower pieces together was kind of difficult, but then as I was erasing it, trying to fit it around, I was like, oh, let me just put it behind it, and then put another layer of the star layer above the tower I was trying to cover, you know? I was making it more complicated than it really is. And also, if anyone's interested, I do have the ability to help anyone with any of this if they're interested. I mean, it's really not hard, and the whole reason I do these instead of like, but because when you see Bookstagram and when you think about it, it's people taking pictures of books, like physical copies of books, like posed cutely and with nice cameras, really expensive cameras and really expensive props. And I just I was like that for a long time, and then I thought, you know, I feel like this isn't fair. Like, I feel like anyone can pick up a camera and do a Bookstagram account, but if you don't have like a $800 camera and like $50 worth of cute props that you're never going to use again, like if you don't have the money, then it's not going to be as professional as you want it to be, and people honestly don't like that. People don't like to see not cute, not aesthetically pleasing book posts. People like the allure and the aesthetic and the flair of it. So when I started doing this, I made a big post about it like months ago, saying that I mainly did this because, you know, I want other people to be inspired to do what I'm doing, but also people who don't have the money, don't have the ability, because some of those Bookstagram shots are people traveling and going to cool places and doing cool things, and some people have disabilities and just can't do things like that. Some people can only use, you know, their arms and their hands, and that's it. And even if that, so, you know, if Bookstagram is condensed to one section of people who can take really cute photographs of books in all these fabulous places with all these fabulous things, then what about the rest of us? The people who, you know, can't do that, can't afford a cool camera, can't afford a cute spot to take a photo, you know? So that's the main reason why I started doing this, and then along the way I was like, wow, this is really fun, I should continue. I haven't found anyone else in like the Bookstagram community that is also doing edits this way. I have yet to, but if anyone knows of any, then please feel free to point them out to me. I would love to meet more people who do this sort of thing instead of taking photography and doing photography of books for Bookstagram. I think we could start a cute little community. But yeah. So right about now I'm pretty much wrapping up. Just changing some coloring. The difference in the water was I didn't like it. I didn't like how one was like a cool tone blue and one was like a warm purpley blue. I just wanted to make sure they were the same color and everything blended together very nicely. And then now I'm just fixing the book, putting some shadows in. Shadows and lighting is very, very important. Okay, I used to not. If you look at some of my old shit, it's pretty bad. There's no like lighting and there's no shadows. It's just like smacking stickers on top of each other. It's not cute. But shadows and lighting are very important. Here, I don't know what I'm doing. I think I'm just messing with the book size. I don't know. I need to calm down. But basically, yeah, like I was saying before, is I mainly wanted to become a source of bookstagram and inspiration that wasn't just about, you know, the aesthetic of it, which I do have my own personal aesthetic with this, but I really want to make sure that mine was available to other people, because I remember when I would scroll on Instagram, I would see all these cool book posts and all this cool stuff. I would be like, well, I can't fucking do that. I don't have the money for a good camera. I just have my phone, and then I don't have like cute stuff set up everywhere, you know? So this to me was providing inspiration for people who couldn't do all the other crazy stuff that other people do. And if I'm correct, I'm about to add a glow behind the book, because I felt like there was something missing, and I found something very very interesting, that if what I want is like a glow or sparkle, but if you search transparent background sparkle or transparent background glow, it gives you like confetti-esque type things. Like it'll pop up in a second. This is my first video. Cut me some slack. Oh yeah, here I'm just like changing the coloring and everything and making sure that everything blends together, because it's the background of all this is very like blue and purple obviously, but I still want them to be cohesive, so you're not like, wow, that wave looks really fake, or like, wow, doesn't she know the sea isn't purple, you know, stuff like that. Alright, so I think this is about when I was looking for, yeah, so if you do if you look up shadows transparent, make sure you do not I didn't show it here, but when you look up shadows transparent shadows, if you go to cut modify it, and if you change the opacity and then you clean it out, the shadow gets ridiculously dark, and then it's just a black line. So don't do that. I can show that in another video. But I don't know what I'm doing here. I think I was just talking to someone or something, and I just was fiddling around. I don't know why I shook the shadow around like an idiot, but ignore me. Oh gosh, okay, anyways. So here, just making sure the layers are all locked, making sure everything looks good. And I was gonna use this as the final part. Like when I saw this, I was like, oh, I'm done. This is perfect. I am a master at book edits and creating things. I'm the best there ever was. The best there ever was. That's a lie. I haven't outlined a lot of the books in the center, but I feel like because there was so much going on here and so many small details, I really needed to make sure the book popped enough so it would separate itself a little bit from the background. Alright. Yep, that's a good shadow. Let's move on. Yep, great shadow. Okay, so this is what I was talking about. Oh, no, that's a lie. Okay, yes. Get out of here, semblance of Senlin. Oh, I have an obsession with fog, clouds, and glowing when I do edits. I don't know why, I just have a problem. I just have an obsession with making everything nice and girly. And like, this is what I mean, like when you go to the cut tool and you restore, it makes whatever you just put down brighter, and I usually wouldn't do that, but in this piece, when there's like so much bright shit going on and there's a lot of color, I need to make sure you can see like a little bit of that blue, not a crazy amount, just but a little bit enough to count. Okay, so if you Google sparkle transparent, I wasn't gonna do this, I was just showing you, it looks like Party City Mayhem. There's like glittery and shiny, and it's very like My Little Pony, which I'm not about. So if you actually Google magic transparent, don't ask me why, but if you search magic transparent, you get like the wispy, glowy, like the cool stuff, like the nice stuff. And then this is gonna say uh-oh. That's a mood. But when things say uh-oh, that basically means that the PNG download is transparent, but it's copyrighted. So don't use those. That's bad. So yeah, I'm just gonna shove that in front of there, put that layer, tuck it underneath the book layer, and then I think that's good to go. Yep. Alright, thank everyone for sticking with me this far. This is the first time I've ever done this, so I feel very weird and awkward. But yeah, I might do some in the future, not sure. Probably be more professional if I do, but I just wanted to try this out and have fun with the first one. Just talk about things, my life, how I do edits, stuff like that. I hope everyone's having a great day, and you know, continue to have a good day. I'm awkward, sorry. But anyways, happy reading and writing, everyone. Catch you later.